If you guys are regulars around here on the channel, you witnessed on Monday night between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat was nothing short of murder caught on camera. As if you somehow missed the final result of this game, I am quite surprised myself because this game was literally all over the internet, as the Milwaukee Bucks took down the Miami Heat 132-98 to take a 2-0 series lead in the first round of the 2021 NBA playoffs. And again, if you guys are regulars around here on the channel, you do probably remember that just over a week ago, I made a video concerning the Milwaukee Bucks and the problems they needed to fix going into these playoffs. And you guys, it's very clear that these problems seem to be fixed so far. Again, I'm not trying to be the guy that's overreacting here, because with my luck, I could be the jinx of the Bucks as I'm making this video. But you guys, not only are we going to be getting into the problems that the Bucks have seemingly fixed, however, we are going to be getting into, again, how they could be making NBA history in these playoffs if they continue to keep the pace up that they have been so far. Real quick, however, you guys, before we get any further into this video, I want to stop this right now for any of you newcomers and give you all 5 seconds to go down below and subscribe. Believe me, for any of you here new to the channel, trust me, you are not going to regret hitting this button, as we are coming out with brand new NBA content on a daily basis, you guys, covering almost any NBA topic you can possibly think of. So for any of you guys that do this for me, believe me, I appreciate you more than anything in the world, so thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get back into this live massacre that we all witnessed on live television. Now, speaking as a general NBA fan, it was very difficult to try to predict what the Milwaukee Bucks would do going into these playoffs, specifically this series, as I'm sure most of us were aware that this was a rematch from the 2020 NBA playoffs in the Eastern Conference semifinals, as the Miami Heat dismantled the Bucks in the bubble last year. And even though there were some solid changes made to both teams, more so on the Bucks side, many people did not know, again, what to expect going into this series. But you guys, I really do think it was under-recognized how much the Milwaukee Bucks really tried to restructure their entire roster, as again, many people are aware of their upgrade in the point guard position this year to Jrue Holiday from what they had in Eric Bledsoe. But I really do feel that many NBA fans just looked at this one specific change in their starting point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks and thought that this was the only major altercation that they made this offseason, when it is clear, especially after what we saw last night, that this is simply not the case. As besides just changing one player in their starting 5 rotation, the Milwaukee Bucks, again, to not many people's knowledge, in my opinion, completely dismantled their entire bench, only bringing back one player coming off the bench from the previous season, which was actually only Pat Connaughton. And instead, they have a completely restructured bench core around Pat Connaughton as well, with very solid players such as Bobby Portis, Bryn Forbes, Jeff Teague, PJ Tucker, etc. Which I think I can very confidently say, when you are comparing the 2020 Milwaukee Bucks bench core to the team they have right now, it is leaps and bounds better when you make the comparison side by side. And on top of this, we are not going to just sit here and look at how this team is overall better from just a numbers perspective, as I think I can confidently speak for almost any NBA fan that when you look at this Milwaukee Bucks team from top to bottom, especially when comparing this team to what they have put together the last 2 seasons, that this team is more playoff ready than they have had over the course of the last 3 years. And to speak on this in terms of physically adding playoff experience, you have the 2 examples in adding Jrue Holiday and PJ Tucker. But again, setting aside the stats and numbers, I really do feel there is just more confidence throughout the entire team in terms of what the players are bringing to the table. And to testify to these 2 points that I have just made, we have the game that we just witnessed last night as an example. And once again, you guys, I'm not trying to overreact. I'm not trying to be a jinx, but if you needed any sort of proof to show you that this Milwaukee Bucks team is different this year compared to the previous 2, I think this game was as good of a sign as you'll get, especially as we progress throughout the playoffs. Because again, if we just take a small flashback to a couple months previously into the NBA bubble, this is relatively the same exact team that once again dismantled the Bucks in the 2020 playoffs. And again, you guys, I know it's only been 2 games. I'm not trying to jinx them. Believe me, that is the last thing that I am trying to do right now. But from what we have seen out of this team throughout the regular season and throughout the first 2 games of the NBA playoffs, they could definitely make some noise going forward. And again, you guys know as well as I do, they are going to need to do so in almost the biggest way possible, as this rematch with the Miami Heat is definitely not over, and this is still a very tough matchup. Let's not underestimate what we've seen out of the Heat throughout the course of the first 2 games. But along with this, if they are to get past the Miami Heat, they will most likely be taking on one of the best offensive teams in NBA history in the Brooklyn Nets, as if they were to get past past the Brooklyn Nets, this wouldn't even be their last test in the Eastern Conference Finals, as they would more than likely go on to play what would be the Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then if they are somehow able to get past these three very impressive teams with their solidified roster this year, they would then have to go on to play whatever team is going to be coming out of the Western Conference for the NBA Finals, and I'm not even going to go as far to predict one team because the Western Conference is a literal bloodbath right now. But more so, I am just trying to get at the fact that I did mention in my previous video about the Milwaukee Bucks is that if this team is able to go on this run and pull off this finals appearance and win, it would simply be nothing short of one being one of the greatest finals runs the league has ever seen, and on top of this proving many NBA fans around the league wrong, as well as I really do feel like a lot of people have grown to disrespect the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo for what has happened again over the course of the last 2 years. Which I am not saying is wrong of NBA fans by any means, because this team has definitely not stepped up to the big stage that they have been on. However, you guys, I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that this may be the year they do so, and on top of it, it would be one of the craziest runs again that we may ever see. But all in all, you guys, I am really curious to hear what you have to say about this Bucks vs Heat series, and on top of this, what you think of the Milwaukee Bucks in general. Do you see the Miami Heat bouncing back over the next couple of games and making this a series once again, or do you see the Bucks completely running away with it from what we've seen so far? And on top of this, from what I have mentioned so far this video, is this Milwaukee Bucks team a team that you could see potentially making a run to the NBA Finals and making history while doing so? It's up in the air for a lot of people, you guys. I really do feel like this answer goes either way depending on who you ask, so I am really curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. But along with this, you guys, in the NBA playoffs finally being here, I think I'm going to start taking a slightly different approach to the videos I make over the next couple of weeks, as the NBA playoffs are obviously going to be the hottest topic around the league over the next couple of months, so I think most of my videos are going to pertain to the games as they are happening, and kind of just having a one-on-one discussion with you guys about each of the playoff series and the hottest topics around the league, if this makes sense. And if it does and you're here for it, again, for any of you newcomers, I'm going to mention it one more time. Do not forget to go down below and hit that subscribe button. Said it before and I will say it again, you guys, are coming out with brand new NBA videos on a daily basis, especially with the playoffs here. You are not going to want to miss a single video or discussion we have in the near future, you guys. I can guarantee you this. But on that note, I just want to say once again, you guys, to each and every one of you, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all more than anything in the world, and I will see you guys in the next video.